Welcome to 100 Frequencies Paranormal Show. We have Eric Van Leer back on the show with us tonight. So what's going on, Eric?
Not a lot, not too much. I'm filming a show tomorrow, a comedy themed wrestling show. And we're looking at another location for Creepy AF Paranormal, but due to the location, we might have to do it kind of guerrilla style.
Nice. Guerrilla style is always the best. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So it's always fun.
It should be an interesting location. I know that Ace Jordan is looking at some interesting spots for the show. I know that one of the places we want to go is the Winchester House. Eventually, he wants to go back to Poveglia Island in Venice, Italy, which I've obviously been to, which is one of my favorite places. Just nonstop paranormal activity from the minute you step foot on the island.
Right. Yeah, once all this COVID crap goes away or subsides, whatever, it's going to be a little while. But yeah, then maybe we could start hitting more locations. I know right now it's just really hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to keep myself busy, I've been doing the police activity. I kind of woke up late tonight. Sorry, I can't even talk. I'm so tired still. I woke up late today. I'm always on the beat. It's a pretty crazy day around me. Unfortunately, I missed it. But if I have the energy after the show, I'm going to get something to eat and see if there's anything interesting going on.
Yeah. So did you ever get your scanner going?
Yeah, I've been just using the police scanner on my cell phone. One of the investments I'm going to make is I'm going to buy at least probably 2 or 3 actual scanners, hopefully up to 4 or 5. It's a little bit of an investment, but I want to have them going, and then I got to consider if I want to rip out the middle console of my car so that I could just place the scanners in there.
Right.
Right now, I haven't, I've been doing this more as a hobby than anything else. My picture from the Lakers post-game celebration was used by a major outlet, but I haven't really been pushing anything. I've just been slowly, and I emphasize the word slowly, building up my new YouTube channel.
Right. I'm just answering a question here. Someone who's just asking what the show was about. So yeah, I mean, I host a couple of different shows. So I hold this show, which is more of a talk show, talk about experiences that we've had in the paranormal, kind of interact with guests and users out there, or viewers, I should say. And then on Saturdays, I host a 3 a.m. Ghost Box session show, which can get pretty intense at times. But this might be my last show on Wednesdays. I might just focus on the Saturday night show. That show is going really well. So anyway, I mean, I've been talking to the owner of the channel. So him and I kind of talked about it. It's kind of hard to juggle 2 different types of shows because sometimes they bleed over into each other. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of concentrate on the other show. We've had some kind of cool ideas, and towards the end of the show last Saturday night, I think the show went on for maybe almost 4. It was about 3.5, almost 4 hours. So it just keeps on going. I don't end the show until everybody's like kind of ready to get off, or I'm just like a little too tired to keep on going on. So anyway.
Yeah, I didn't get on until 2:33 a.m. myself.
I bet you're surprised that we're still on.
Sorry, I was just getting a text from my mom, actually. I didn't tell her that we're going for sushi tomorrow. She wants me to come early. I gotta tell her I gotta come a little later.
Right.
I know I'm filming the other show later tomorrow night, probably around 8:30. I don't have the link or the information for the show. It's just someone that I've worked with people I've worked with in the wrestling industry. So I thought it'd be fun to hang out and do something a little lighter, a comedy film show. Of course, I have improv experience, so I like to, be able to use it.
So today, today something freaky happened. So those of you that are just tuning in, this house is pretty active during all hours of the day. So it's kind of crazy. So today, I was watching. Today I was watching TV in the living room, and all of a sudden the TV in the bedroom went on.
Oh.
And I was like, "Wait, where's that sound coming from? Is that my phone? Did I kind of?" Because my phone is like laying next to me, so I thought I might have tapped it. So I kind of like sat up, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, that's coming from the bedroom." So went in there, yeah, and TV was on. There's no timer on the TV, nothing. The remotes are, on the nightstand. So, yeah, the bedroom. Usually, there's a little girl that comes around, and normally I'll hear her like walking around or her talking or something. But today, just the TV went on, so it was like, that's kind of cool. Anyway, or sometimes she'll turn on the ghost box, like I said. She's done that a few times in the past, but yeah, it's kind of trippy.
Someone's watching from Florida.
So did Klaus ever bring the pig?
No, Malikian has the pig.
Oh yeah, did he never bring it?
No, he didn't bring it in. I think I need. It's been a while, but I think I need a little bit more time. There's been a lot of changes in the last month or so in my life, and if that statue or whatever it is causes chaos, I could wait maybe at least another couple of weeks.
Right. I might have to have you guys. So we're talking about this pig that I gave Eric, that I found at a yard sale or something. And we're talking about haunted objects. About talking about buying pieces at an antique store or garage sale and things like that. So sometimes you have to be a little careful. But this pig, as soon as I picked it up, I felt some energy. So that's the only reason why I bought it. And then as soon as because I started hearing stuff when it was in my car, so I gave it to Eric because I bought it for him just because there's a thing that we talk about a pig. So something happened with the pig. So picked up an EVP that we heard a pig. So and we heard it on several times on EVPs. So it was kind of like an inside joke. But this pig statue, I guess everybody that has it has weird experiences with it. So I'm gonna have to get it back and maybe do some bring it in here and do some ghost box session.
Yeah, bring it into the studio. Actually, bring it in.
No, that'll be fun. I haven't broke out, so I have another doll from a haunted location, and a toy phone. I gotta break those out. I gotta pull them out. I gotta find them first. They're somewhere here, packed away in my garage.
Yeah, the toy phone was crazy. I experienced it, but I still can't believe it.
So what happened was we were at a abandoned insane asylum, and we're in the children's ward, and I picked up on a little kid in the hallway, Um, so I was just staring and just seeing it, and I started seeing the shadow like dart in and out of a room. So um, I just sat there and I just stood there watching, and I started getting like really overwhelming sensation, like somebody was there. So we kind of just went out of the hall and went into another part of that wing. And then when we came back, there was a toy phone, like a Fisher Price um, toy phone that has a little cord and has wheels, and you pull it. Um, so it was just sitting in the middle of the floor, right where I saw that kid. There was nobody else in the building, and if there were anybody in the building, they would have had to pass us to get by us. So there was only one way in, one way out. So anyway, so I took the phone. I had to take the phone, and so I took it back, and we did because at that time we were just kind of taking pictures and things like that. So we went back, and I took the phone, took a ghost box and recorders, and doing some EVP sessions, and yeah, it was. We got some pretty cool responses, but anyway.
Well, tonight is the Pacific Rim show. We have someone from Australia and from New Zealand.
I know, right? That's pretty cool.
Australia is actually one place I want to go. There's a lot of haunted places there. Some very intense energy at some of the locations there.
Yeah, I mean that would be a fun place to go. No, dolls. I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I don't really like dolls. So it was kind of funny. I went to one of my friend's houses. We went to go visit his parents up north, and so they said, "Oh, Rob, you're going to sleep in here." So they said, "All right, so you guys ready to go to bed?" And it was kind of late, so I went in there, and I turned on the light, and there's dolls all around. So his mom had shelves all going around the whole room, and there was like all these old dolls. So yeah, it was pretty freaky. And I was like, "Oh my god, I have to sleep in here, really?"
Yeah, Sharon said the quarantine station is cool. That's actually where Chad filmed one of his documentaries, where he got some of the most compelling pieces of paranormal equipment. Chad Caleb.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can't think of the name of the movie right now, the documentary. God, I wish I could, but he tried many different scientific techniques even to debunk it and just wasn't able to.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, like whenever, we go to locations, whatever, we've tried all kinds of different types of experiments, right, Eric? And it's been pretty crazy, but so that's basically what I'm going to do is on Saturday nights, when I do my 3 a.m. ghost box sessions, I'm going to set up a couple of different things. Somebody asked if I had a frequency counter, which I do. So I'm going to set up the frequency counter, and then I'm building a REM pod. So people that don't know me, I build my own ghost boxes and other equipment. So I have a REM pod kit here. Well, this is what a REM pod looks like and what it is when you buy a REM pod. This is actually what the kit consists of. So this is the actual board that goes inside it. So when you hear this board, it sounds exactly like a REM pod. There's actually 2 settings on it. There's a musical tone and then the normal tones that you hear on the typical REM pod. So I'm gonna set that up, and we'll use that and other things. So those that show's pretty interesting. And then last 2 weeks ago, we were doing a ghost box session, and actually I have a black mirror, and the mirror actually was pushed over. and if you look to see how it's sitting, there's no way it would fall over. And then so I have a ceramic skull on top of the ghost box, so if it was vibration, that skull, and it's ceramic on wood, so I mean that thing would be sliding around because it's directly on top of it. So nothing else on the shelf fell over except the mirror. And the only way it would fall is you literally have to push it from the top.
Right.
So it was pretty interesting. Yeah, the doll that I do have here that came from a haunted location, I'm not going to say where. It's a pretty well-known location here in California, but we were doing an investigation there, and something said my dolly, and I ended up finding a doll right around the location where we were. So I ended up taking that doll. So anyway.
Yeah, I used to have a friend. He used to do digs, like digging for bottles and just different items. And I don't know, this was a while ago, but I would never let him bring them in my car. I told him that if he wanted to collect stuff, he would have to drive himself. I didn't even want them in my car. And then he wound up giving an old bottle to my mom, which is actually still on her fireplace mantle, but I don't think she's had any problems because of it. The place was already haunted, but for different reasons.
Right. So Nora said she collects dolls. Nora, what type of dolls do you collect? It's pretty cool seeing other people's collections and what they collect, and hear their experiences, and that's kind of what kind of like the show's about. We talk about our experiences. We try to see if we can hear anybody else's experiences, things like that. But Saturday's show, some people were kind of throwing out some ideas or even asking for help. And so towards the end of the show, a lot of people were talking about things that they're experiencing currently. So we just started kind of like talking to them, kind of giving them advice. So I started talking to somebody else, and I think what we're going to do starting on Saturdays is if anybody wants to come on, and if they have any experiences that they're dealing with, I can bring them onto the show, and we can have them on for a few minutes, talk about what they're experiencing, and see if anybody else has some advice for that person. We'll give them some advice, and then we'll go to somebody else if they want to participate in the show. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and nobody else does that, so it'd be something unique. So, so I think it'd be kind of cool. And like I said, all of my shows are about the viewers. It's not about me. It's about you guys. Whatever you guys bring to the show, like the whole thing with the 3 a.m. Ghost Box session. I mean, now it's kind of evolving because that's what it seemed like what people wanted to do. People are asking to contact their loved ones, so we do that. I just mix it up. So that's why it goes on for so long. The show was originally going to air for an hour, so we went from an hour. The first night we went a little over 3 hours, and then the next night we went almost 3.5, and then the same thing. We went to almost 4 hours Saturday. Kevin was there, so hey Kevin, welcome back. So that's what, like I said, the Saturday show, I think I just want to put all of my energy into that. And if it goes 4 hours, fine. If it goes 5 hours, fine. I don't care. It's however long you guys want to be on the show for, have the show run. Like I said, it's all about you guys. I just have to have I have to have energy. Last being up, because last week I was up for literally 24 hours. So towards the end of the show, I was like dying. I was yawning a lot, and I apologize for that towards the end. And that's when I said, you know what, I got to get off of here. I'm just tired.
The paranormal can definitely drain you, for sure.
Oh, the first night that we did the show, because I wasn't really I didn't know what to expect, really. I mean, yes, I know sometimes, like when you do an investigation or you do a ghost box session, something like that, it can drain your energy, but there was so much energy here, so many spirits coming through. Somebody sent me like a private message later in the week, and they said, watching your show, it was like there was so many spirits coming through. It was like Grand Central Station, literally. I mean, how many names came through? A couple of hundred, maybe.
There was a lot.
There was a lot, and people were because people were asking me to ask if their loved ones were here, and so yeah, we were getting responses. They were getting responses, and I didn't know what anything meant because it didn't mean anything to me, but other people were kind of throwing things up in the chat saying, oh my God, that was my dad's voice. And he said, I love you. And I did hear that, but I didn't know what it meant to me anyway. But, so it was kind of cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, when I was little, I mean, I was really fascinated with Kachina dolls. And then when I moved because I went to school in Arizona, and when I moved to Arizona and I started going to a lot of the shops around town, I would see like these Kachina dolls that were just amazing. And like a couple of them, I just felt so much energy from a couple that I saw, and I was drawn to them. I wanted to buy them, but being a student, I just didn't have that money to buy them. So I was like, I could buy a Kachina doll and not eat for a couple of weeks. I could just live off of maybe top ramen or something. But I just couldn't see myself spending that much money, because there were a few $100s. Into a student, I mean, it's really hard. But I wish I would have, looking back now. But anyway.
Forgive my ignorance. What is a Kachina doll?
A Kachina doll is, they're basically like dolls they're Indian dolls that are dressed up like in ceremonial dress, when they do like a powwow or something like that. So there's different types of dolls that represent a different type of or a different god and things like that. So there's one like a sun god. There's one like, and they're just amazing. I could bring up. I was going to do a screen share, but anyway, look up a Kachina doll.
Kevin's making me hungry, posting pictures of turkey legs. I haven't even eaten today.
A turkey leg? What are you talking about?
Isn't that a turkey leg he put? What is that thing?
No, it's somebody clapping.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a turkey.
Yeah, they are very, very pretty. Like I said, I mean, I've seen some that are just, gorgeous. And the two that I was talking about, they were just amazing. And they were pretty big. I mean, they're probably a good 14 inches tall. And one of them was white in white feather dressing, and the other one had, it was like a beige leather. It was really pretty.
Yeah, those sound awesome. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah. And just the energy there in Arizona is just like crazy. I mean, especially if you go to, like onto some of the reservations, and you're walking through, it's just going through some of the burial sites was just like wow. 'Cause I used to work for the USDA, so going through, because I had to go on to the reservations, and sometimes I would have to cross through sacred land, so I would just have to be careful while I was walking. And energy was just amazing.
Yeah, I love Albuquerque, New Mexico also, but we had some crazy experiences in Arizona.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, those I'd like to go back there, and I'd like to go back to Albuquerque. I really liked Albuquerque.
Yeah. So
I
also,
Albuquerque. Where's the place where they have the turquoise in New Mexico? Is that Albuquerque?
yeah. So also for those of you that are just joining, I'm going to be giving away a ghost box. I'm going to be giving away a ghost box once I hit 1,000 subscribers on Facebook, and this is what the box will look like. I just built a couple today, so they will look like this. So doesn't have batteries right now, or else I have some rechargeable batteries charging, or else I'd do a quick demo. But anyway, so once I get 1,000 subs, that's the type of radio I'll be giving away. You could here's my so if you want, just go subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also you can like our Facebook page. And if you want to see the ghost boxes that I do build, you can go to my website. Anyway, that's enough of that. Enough plugs. What do you mean, Kevin? What do you mean voices in the audio? You hear voices coming through? You want audio? Thank you for subscribing, Sharon. Eric, is that you tapping?
No, it's my neighbor.
Oh, okay. I just hear like thuds. Go smack them around.
I want to. They're very noisy sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any voices coming through. And normally, like if there was somebody else around, like the headphones that I'm wearing, they're called open back headphones, so they're professional headphones. So I can hear anybody else in the room, even though even if the audio is coming through loud, they're not noise canceling or anything like that. So I can hear if somebody was whispering behind me, I could hear them. So, but I'm not hearing any audio.
No, it's dead silent where I am. Except for these idiots.
It looks like there's like clouds or spirits behind you.
Oh, behind me?
It looks like because of the way it, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was doing One Day Die. One Day Die is an immersive horror experience from Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed a few of the Saw movies. He's doing the next installment, actually. And what it is, it's an interactive theatrical experience with a seance. And you have all your lights out. You have an actual seance kit. Here's like one of the pieces that came with it. Like a, like a key. There's a bunch of other stuff, but you have the lights out. And I was sitting here there's like different rooms you go to and stuff, and different there's actors, live actors, and different participants. And when I was doing that, I had all the lights out except for a small little candle, and it was just glowing behind me. There was a glow that kept coming and going. It was pretty crazy. So, yeah, the next installment should be awesome. But if you have a chance to do one of Darren's shows, sometimes they're throughout the year, definitely around Halloween you can do it. It was a legit seance, and there was definitely something behind it. You know, I don't know if it was my aura or what it was, but it was literally just all a big glow. It was pretty awesome.
Wow. So somebody said that it sounds like they're hearing something, but and I don't hear any echo. I'm wondering if it's coming from Eric's side.
I don't hear I hear something. It sounds like it might be. I don't know how to explain. It sounds like reverb, but it isn't. It's like when I listen to the police scanner, sometimes some interesting things come through. I think our echo is also coming through, so I don't know exactly what it is, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I have on my side, because I can control like echo and things coming through on the broadcast. So I have echo turned off. So
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So read Nora's question, Eric.
Yeah, I've had that happen several times. The weird thing is, it used to happen out of my mom's house. Like I put my wallet down or something, and I don't know if it was just me being careless or what, but I would go look in the same place, and it was, I'd spend 30 minutes looking for the thing. It wasn't where I put it. I've had some different paranormal investigators there. It's not the most haunted place, but there have been, on occasion, some crazy experiences. And it seems to me that's the place where stuff like what you're referring to happens a lot, where things get moved and spirits play tricks.
Right.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else that's had that happen.
So here's something that happened on Saturday. So I have a 2-camera setup here. So I have the one that's facing me, then another one that's facing. So if you look back here, it's kind of like a little table, and it has my ghost box and black mirror and some little statues, things like that. So I have another camera that's facing that. So, and these are like kind of like professional cameras. These are high-end cameras. So anyway, they have what they call is a dummy battery. So if you have here, so this is like the second camera that I'm using. So see here, there's a battery that hangs in here. So to release it, you have to hit this little clip, and then it drops out. But if you tug on it, it's not coming out. So Saturday, all of a sudden I hear and then see there's another part that plugs into here. So anyway, Saturday I heard like a thump, and the part that plugs into here was laying on the table, and this battery was at my foot. Wow. So for me to hear that, I would have heard it drop out of the camera, because the camera was working. Then all of a sudden I tried to switch to that camera. The camera wouldn't go on. So so that battery, I was looking for the battery. I was like, where's the battery? So, and it was dark in here, but I mean, I had like the LED lights and stuff on, because I have lights for it, for ambience. So anyway, I went to, on the other side of the table where the camera is, and I had a flashlight. I'm looking around, and I was like, "Where did the battery go? How's the battery? How did the battery like come out?" And then so I came back around to where my main desk is, and I was looking around for the battery, and it was laying right by my foot. So for that to drop out, I would have heard the battery drop and land on the floor, but there's no way that it's going to drop because it's on the far side of the table. It would have had to drop down underneath the table and bounce and come and lay over by my foot. So yeah, and it was just laying there. So how that happened, I have no idea.
Crazy.
Yeah, so there's a little girl here, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, and yeah, we think it was her playing tricks. She never came through via voice, but she did make her presence known. So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
If anyone in chat just heard a male voice that wasn't ours about 5 seconds ago, please let us know. I just heard a voice. That I have to admit. It could have been a delay, a delay in some kind of audio, but I did hear a voice.
What did the voice sound like?
It was just a deep voice. I couldn't make it out. Kevin seems to be an empath, sensitive. Maybe he heard it, or someone else in chat heard it.
So anyway, there is a male here, and I've never told Eric what he sounds like, and it is a male with a deep voice. So, if he's here, that's cool. Usually all right, yeah, okay. So normally when he makes his presence known, he smokes cigarettes, a lot, but then also he would smoke, tobacco in a pipe, and it's always sweet smelling, and that's exactly what I'm smelling right now. And you guys can think I'm making this up, but I mean it is happen. It does happen quite often. Yeah, there's definitely, and I always get like when there's smoke around, and Eric can speak to this because I mean he smokes, and when I'm around and he's smoking, I mean I always kind of get a little choked up because the smoke bothers me.
I need to quit. kind of not to make excuses, but kind of quit when there's a lot of changes, plus the pandemic on top of everything else. They actually, right down the street from me, they just removed someone, the paramedics, and it looked like they're wearing it looked like they were wearing like spacesuits or something.
Crazy. Yeah, the smoke is really bad. Sorry. And Kevin said he's smoking. Yeah, it's a little quiet tonight, but it's all right.
Kevin is the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Quiet is good sometimes. It's been chaotic lately.
No, exactly. Exactly right. Yeah, Kevin said he blew smoke at the screen. Yeah, trying to get to me. I know, like today we're just kind of like chit-chatting, whatever, but it's just not a lot of people here, but we're still having fun anyway. I wasn't going to do a show tonight. It was kind of just last minute. Like I said, I just wanted to let people know that I'm not going to be doing the show on Wednesdays anymore. It's only going to be on Saturdays. So yeah, let's talk about the trip with Sobert this past weekend. So we went to a location that has a special place in my heart, just because of all the suicides that have happened there. So basically, it's a bridge, the highest arcing bridge in the U.S. Um, it's 122 meters tall, um, and it was built in 1963, and there's been 55 deaths. Um, yeah, to this day. And so they put up suicide railing on the bridge. Um, and since they put up the railing, 5 people have committed suicide. So to climb up it, the so basically the rails go up and then they curve in, so it's kind of like this. So to get over it, you would have to, and it's not the the chain link is small, so there's no way to like just put your feet in and climb up it and scale it. The type of fencing that they did, it makes it almost impossible to climb, but people are finding creative ways to get through there or up there, so it's crazy. So I posted up some. If you go to my website, I just posted up all the names of the victims, um, or the people that commit suicide. And one of my friends actually went to school with one of the kids that jumped. Um, yeah, it's pretty sad. And going down there, it's basically down in like a ravine. So when you go down, it's a long way. So there's like when people jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, the impact from the water is going to kill them. But here, there's nothing but trees down below, or rocks, or because it's in like a river bottom. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I just don't know how somebody could do that. Yeah, that cigarette smoke's bothering me. So Venus, did you see the footage at all? Um, I'll post up a video as soon as it's done. We got some drone footage. Yeah, I don't know much about the Bay Bridge. I've just done research on this other bridge. Um, that's how I got all the victims' names. I did a lot of research on the bridge and went down there a few times, took some pictures, did some ghost box sessions, did some EVP sessions, just try to put people at ease. Yeah, I know that he just tagged me in the dream footage. Anyway, this is a friend of mine. He has his name's Sobear. He has a urban exploring channel on YouTube.
I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm reading too. Yeah, I mean just with everything with COVID, I mean it's just it's so sad and so I mean it's just really sad. Everybody's being affected by it.
Yeah, LA is going on a curfew again Friday night.
Well, there's a lot of cities that are going lockdown. So I just I'm always wearing a mask. I mean, I don't do it for myself. I do it for others. That's basically what we have to look out for other people. I mean, yeah, if we get it, whatever. But um, I'm always looking out for the other people out there.
Yeah, even when I go to protest or go to an incident that's happening, as best as I can, I try to be 6 feet away from everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's hard. Like there was a standoff off, after a police chase, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and this residential street was just filled with SWAT, police vehicles, press. Sometimes it's hard to be in that kind of environment, but I try my best to, not be close to people. I actually went up to the SWAT negotiator, and he was like, he said, don't get near me. I don't, I've been around a lot of people today. I don't want you to take any chances.
Right.
So, and it wound up, I'm not going to say the specifics of the incident, but it wound up that it's believed that the suspect himself had COVID.
So Venus, yeah, I'm still doing the Ghost Box giveaway. So if anybody is just tuning in, I'm gonna do a Ghost Box giveaway once I hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. So just subscribe to my channel. I'll throw that back up here real quick. Go to YouTube and just subscribe to the channel. Once I hit 1,000 likes, I will be giving away a box that looks like this. So it has sweep, has a line out, volume adjustment, things like that. So I just have this little, normally there's an antenna here, but I have a little clip that I use when I'm here in the studio, and the antenna is just really long. So anyway.
So Kevin said Japan Forest of the Dead, which is Akagahara. He said, I will never get anywhere near this place. There is evil there.
Tell him about that place, Eric.
Well, Akagahara is actually a very, very sacred place. It's actually the way to get to Mount Fuji. Akagahara is the foothills, is the way to get to Mount Fuji. So there's been a lot of suicides and all that there, but just like Poveglia Island, there's some people that want to believe it doesn't exist. And in Japan, it's outside Tokyo. There's a group that believes it's very sacred, and then there's another group of people that think it's a very dark place.
Yeah, Eric went there.
Yeah, I was getting phone calls from all over the United States telling me to get out.
I called him and told him to get out.
That was the day when monsoon or whatever hit. I believe it was that day or the day after. That was scary because, people were carrying umbrellas and they were flying off their hands and turning upside down and stuff. That might have been more scary than the forest. Yeah, there's a reason people bring ropes in there because the forest is so dense, you literally can get lost. So what they do, what the ropes and strings and all that for, is they tie them to the trees, kind of like Hansel and Gretel with the breadcrumbs. It's so that they could find their way back out.
Yeah.
Some people believe that the forest is cursed. There's many, many suicides there every year. And a lot of them are, not to say one suicide is different than the other. Every suicide is tragic, but a lot of them, are just people that because the Japanese take death very, very seriously. And I'm sure there's foreign visitors that go there to commit suicide, but for a Japanese person to commit suicide, other than I believe it's called, I can't think of the term, but it's like samurais. They kill themselves with a sword, which they look at as a noble thing. But for the Japanese to commit suicide, there has to be something really, really wrong in their life. So there's already a lot of dark energy, not negative, but just dark energy and tragedy before they even commit that act.
Yeah, the Japanese are very superstitious, so for somebody to commit suicide, I mean, it has to be really bad.
Kari, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of, I don't really look into the camera just because I'm kind of all over the place looking around, just running the show. If I had a moderator, that'd be kind of cool because I could pay attention to all of the comments, things like that. So I kind of get tied up reading all the comments. But anyway. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to Saturday's show. I got to do some testing. I might switch over to some different. I'll use this as a back end to broadcast the show, but the front end that I'll use for will be a little bit different. Hopefully, it might be a little bit better, but I don't know. I'm always playing around with things. Right now, I got this pretty much tuned in. So I'm kind of happy with it. I mean, that's possible. I mean, Kevin, like what you're saying about empaths, I think that's why certain locations kind of I'm drawn to. I feel like spirit are calling me to for help. So, like talking about the bridge, I think that there was spirits calling me to that location. And this past weekend, I was kind of getting a little emotional. It was weird. It was emotional, but not in a sad way, but in more of a happy way. I know that sounds a little bit morbid, but I think that the spirits there, or that might still be there, or were a little bit more happy. That I think that they were glad that I was there. If that makes sense, it's just hard to explain unless you feel it. So I don't know. But I'm kind of drawn to places like that for some weird reason. So we were talking about being empaths and empaths being drawn to certain locations, like with the forest in certain places. I've been to Nordoff Cemetery many times at night. Usually, midnight, sometimes later. I used to go out there just to walk around, see what I can feel. It kind of gets a little creepy out there sometimes, especially when you start seeing dogs out there, and there's no really any dogs.
I've seen the
They're basically called Hellhounds.
I've seen them there.
Yeah, and I've seen them too, and it's kind of crazy.
That's crazy you brought that up because There's an old article somewhere on the internet about my now halfway defunct paranormal group talking about an experience myself and others had with the Hellhounds at Nordoff Cemetery. But there's a place near Nordoff Cemetery that's a lot crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
About Charman.
Charman. I've proven, me and Josh, or Josh and I should say, proved that that's no urban legend. Yeah, something about it's real.
Yeah. Ojai, California is kind of a small little town, but it's an old little town. But one of the it's a place called Nordoff Cemetery. It's a really old cemetery, so there's a lot of Civil War soldiers buried there. There's a lot of Native Americans built there or buried there. There's actually a sewer system that runs under the cemetery. And one day we heard it sounded like a kid coming from one of the drains down in the sewer. So I was flashing my flashlight down there, didn't see anything, but we all heard it when we were walking right. Basically, there's a big metal grate. And we were walking over that grate, and we all heard like what it sounded like a kid coming from down there. And it had a really echoey sound to it. So we're like, what's a kid doing down there? But it was a, so we got an EVP of it because we had a recorder just recording as we're walking around, and it just sounded. If you ever heard an EVP that sounds like somebody stuck in a well, and it's real hollow and echoey sounding, that's what it sounded like. So it's kind of cool. No, so there's also an urban legend about a vampire there. I've never gone to that part of that location where he's supposedly buried, I guess.
I know the story. I don't know where he is though.
Yeah, me neither. So down where Eric was talking about Charman, there's also a headless motorcycle rider that rides up and down that road. So there's a lot of different spirits that have been seen in that area.
Yeah, there's a bloody bride. Josh and I heard her. We didn't see her, but we heard her. There's phantom headlights, which we did see, and we also saw just a boy's head. So I don't know if it was in an accident or what, but it was literally just a head.
There's a floating head.
Yeah, we experienced a lot that night. I've been there several times, but that night, for some reason, we experienced a lot. And then there was something that was like, I don't know, like a baby New Jersey devil or something. some kind of, that's what it reminded me of. It was like the New Jersey devil, but it was like, very small, and it flew right over Josh's head.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it is creepy. I mean, it's kind of a cool place to go just if you're going to go with some friends and you're just looking for something to do, during the night or in the evening. Go have dinner, then go walk around the cemetery or something like that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that one restaurant we went to, I think it was a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, that place was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool little places. Once COVID, if you're in the area, once places open up again, that's a pretty cool place to go. Let's go get some food and go exploring. It's a lot of fun. No, sorry, that was the wrong one. No, Kevin. yeah, it's funny. I mean, when you do come across, you know, kind of like a vortex and things like that, um, you know, like you said, I mean, that's exactly what I thought it was when we walked over that grate. And we kind of stumbled upon that because later on that evening, we all swore we saw a woman walk through, and it was right near that area, and then it got super cold, um, and it was warm out, and if you're out there in Ojai during the summer, I mean it's hot. I mean it gets warm, and so for us to all get just like the three of us in the one little area to get that chill all at the same time, it was really creepy. And we were like, "Oh my god, look, I'm freezing! I got goosebumps!" And everybody else around us, it's like, "What are you talking about? It's so freaking hot!" So, yeah, it was kind of a cool feeling. Yeah, like I was saying the other night there, Kevin. I mean, I don't get afraid of any. I mean, I'm not afraid of really anything. There's no reason to be afraid. Hold on 1 second. I didn't see this. Whereabouts? And that's in Sydney. I never heard of it. So, Venus, this is just from my experience, and Eric knows what I say about this. What I have found, um, because I used to document anytime we went out on an investigation, I would kind of do like weather report type of deal. I would put in, you know, the moon phase, what phase the moon was in, the temperature, if there's any wind. There was all kinds of stuff that I would put down. And after kind of doing an analysis of all the data that I collected, the most active times that I've experienced was 2 days before a full moon, 2 days after a full moon. During the full moon, nothing. It was always dead. I've never had any experiences during a full moon. I've been to so many investigations during a full moon that I just said, you know what, it's a full moon. I'm not going because there was never any activity. But then I would say, oh yeah, let's go to, you know, in a couple of nights. And every single time we would go during that time, we had some crazy things happen. And Eric also experienced that with me, so he can contest to that.
As far as most active time, it depends on the location. A lot of times it's during the daytime, actually.
Yeah, I've always, and then that's the other thing. During the daytime has always been the most active for me, or near 3 a.m. So you want to? So she's asking about explain the spirit box. So the spirit box is, so as many of you may have known, I was a big skeptic on spirit boxes. I always said, oh, it's just broken radio. You're picking up radio frequency, things like that. So anytime someone would break out a spirit box, I would always walk away. And so that's what, and then I started, you know, I bought a couple of spirit boxes. I wanted to see how they work and things like that. So once I started using a box and then it became like tuned to me. I started getting a lot of relevant answers. I was getting names. I was getting dates. I was getting a lot of things at this one location that I was investigating a lot. And I was getting, so I would jot everything down, or I would have it on a recorder. I would start writing everything down, and then I started doing research, and I started getting the names, and they were matching up records. These were police records of inmates. I was getting dates. The dates would match on an arrest record. I was getting a lot stories. I mean, things that happened, like pieces here, like a fight broke out, and then I'll get a name. I would look it up, and they were during their arrest. A fight broke out, and that person was killed, and it had that person's name. So there was a lot of things like that. So basically, so what happens is the theory behind it is spirit can speak, and they will try to communicate between frequencies. So as a radio is scanning through, they will use that to speak. I don't know if you guys ever had when you were doing like an EVP session, or you're doing a video recording and you're talking, and then later you go back and review that tape or that footage, and you're like, wait a minute, I never said that. So you might say something, and then after your voice stops, your voice, you're going to hear another something else in your voice that you didn't say. I heard that with Eric one time. We were doing an investigation. This was a home investigation, and I was like, Eric, you never said this. Because I'm behind the camera. I'm always like the video guy, and I have audio. I mean, I always had headphones in as I'm recording, and so I'm monitoring the audio. So I remember things, and then during the playback, I was like, hey, listen to this. And so I was like getting pieces of what Eric was saying. So Eric was one time, he was laughing, and right after his laugh, there was in his voice, it continued on after his laugh. And if you try to laugh and then speak at the same time, that's impossible. And during his laugh, he started speaking, like at the tail end of his laugh. And I was like, what the hell? And so I played it back, and I said, look, and I said, that's impossible to do that. There's no way you can laugh and then immediately change to speaking, because you would have to stop, take a breath. But no, this was one continuation, and there's no way that you can do that. So anyway, so in that, saying that, that kind of got me thinking, well, wait a minute. So if spirit can do that with our voices, and that's just frequency, that's noise coming out, they're also manipulating radio. And so I started putting pieces together, and then I was like, wow, this is something. So that's how I got into ghost boxes, and that's basically how a ghost box works. Hopefully that, I know that was a little winded, but I was kind of giving an example of what. So somebody's asking, I mean, you can, I mean, that's what I do. Like during the ghost box sessions that I do on Saturday nights, we do try to get a specific person to come through. Does it happen? It's very, very, very rare. Now, there's people out there that supposedly talk to dead celebrities. Don't believe it, because there's no way that a dead celebrity is going to come to one specific person, and always just come to that one specific person. There's no way. But I mean, you can try to communicate with somebody, and sometimes it may or may not come through. I mean, it's not, we can't predict who's going to come through. But sometimes we can do, ask, is somebody here with us? And then if they want to communicate with you, then they will, you might get a response. But I mean, so it's just hard to explain, and it's hard to say if somebody would specifically come out and communicate with you. I mean, I'm sure that they would if they really wanted to communicate with you. I've had a person here that I was like, somebody here wants to communicate, and she made her presence known, and she told me her name, things like that. I mean, sometimes if they want you to know who they are, they will, but to have like a one-on-one conversation with somebody, I mean, it's probably it's pretty rare, very rare. That's what I do. So if you look, so what Kevin's talking about here now, there's a piece of software. It's called Audacity, or it's made by it's Adobe Audition. If you use Adobe Audition, basically it's called an audio analyzer, and it basically looks like a waterfall. And you can see, like, in the lower frequencies, when there are voices there, it's pretty cool. So, these frequencies are so low, they're below the human hearing range. So if you highlight that area and kind of amplify it, you'll start picking up different things in those frequencies. So it's pretty cool. But like what Nancy said, it is up to the spirit if they do want to communicate with you. But yeah, don't believe in people trying to communicate with dead celebrities, because a lot of times all they're doing is using banked audio or interviews, things like that, and they're clipping out the audio. And I have debunked a few of the interviews out there or sessions out there, and I found the same exact audio that they were using, and I put it up on a couple of my up on my videos in showing what was said.
Yeah, that I'm still on the fence with that audio session with Crowley. I think it was at Abbey of Thelema or Sheffield, one of those places. It's still, I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one.
Yeah. So Nancy, so some of the ghost boxes that I have used in the past, I mean, I did buy a couple. I since then sold them. Now pretty much all the boxes that I do use are something that I built. Not to be biased, I mean, I will be using probably like a newer SB7 soon in one of my sessions. So I'll use like a Hack Shack. I'll use one of my boxes, and then I'll use like a SB7 or something, just kind of throw it up in the mix. And if somebody wants me to use an app during one of our sessions on Saturday nights, I'll do that also. I'm always up for suggestions. Like I said, this isn't about me. This is about you guys. So if somebody wants to try to get in touch with a loved one or somebody out there, see what we can, see if we can get some, somebody that has moved on or passed, and see if we can communicate with them, see if we can get you an answer that you might be looking for or they want to give to you. That's fine.
Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan in the world, but with Fidel, we've gotten some interesting stuff with the GB1, and I think the other one is the Portal.
Okay.
He has no response.
So I've ripped apart a lot of apps in my past. And because I'm a type of person that wants to learn how or see how how it works.
Right.
And a lot of software out there, it has banked audio, and a lot of the audio that is put into a lot of these apps are what a paranormal investigator is looking for or they want to hear. So, that's why that's why I don't use them, because I'm like, yeah, this is all banked audio. Yeah, this is everything that it's saying here is questions that most people ask during an investigation. So you're going to get those answers. So,
Believe it or not, I still haven't perfected EchoVox, I believe. Is that what's called EchoVox?
okay, so the EchoVox I tore down the EchoVox, and that still to this day is the best app out there, bar none. If you ever take a look at it, rip it apart, all it is not even a second, and it's just verbs. It's like something like that. And I've gotten people speaking in a British accent. I've gotten people speaking in Spanish. I've gotten people that give me full-on sentences. Yeah, I've gotten some crazy responses with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the audio expert, but I seem to get a lot of echo and reverb when I use it for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had some good results, but, I don't know if I have the patience to constantly change those settings and everything, which is what you have to do with the EchoVox.
Right. Yeah, I mean, somebody asked if we've experienced something that's not spiritual. Yes. I've never seen Station Monitor. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I mean, I've tried out some of his apps, and it is banked audio. So, I mean, when somebody's using just a male voice or a female's voice that are coming through, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that, but I mean, if you break it up, though, if you break up the audio and try to put it back together, it's not very clear. So in the way that it's randomizing all of the audio, there is no way that it's going to, when you put it back together, or there's no way that it can be put back together the way that the randomizer is working. And that's why with the answers that I've gotten from it, there's no way. I mean, for somebody who's speaking Spanish, speaking French, speaking Italian, yeah, there's no way that's going to come out of what's being read. And I've listened. I've put it back together, and I've listened to it. None of the responses that I've gotten out of that were even part of that. It's like when you use an Ovilus, and I'm not a big fan of the Ovilus at all. But I have seen the original Ovilus. I've seen people's names come out of it that aren't part of the database. Any words that are in the database several times, and that I was blown away by.
Yeah, I don't remember what words we got, but I did an investigation before the pandemic in Manchester, and we were getting words on the novelists that weren't supposed to be on there.
Yeah. And I've seen it happen with the original Ovilus. Now the Ovilus from the Ovilus 3 on up, I think they're garbage. To be honest, I don't. I tell people that want to spend $500, you just freaking take your money and go give it to a homeless person. You'll be giving them. Your money will go to a better cause than trying to buy a piece of equipment that I don't think is worth. It's not worth anything. So, like what's Kevin saying is, so you have to be. So, my background is I'm an IT person by trade, an audio person, and an audio person by trade. So, using different processors and things like that, you have to be careful. And that's why anytime when people go through EVPs and they try to clean them up, I tell them you're taken away from the EVP when you do that. Even trying to clean it up, leave it raw, because you can run it through like a audio spectralizer. Through an audio spectralizer, and you'll kind of see different things, and you'll be able to hear those clips. It might take listening to them a few times, but you're going to get better results. So the Phasm box, I was actually one of the beta testers for that. But he's no longer making software. We were all part of a group back a few years ago, back when the EchoVox was pretty just becoming popular. So we were all like testing a bunch of different software, and then that's when somebody else started making software and things like that. And that's when I was ripping software apart and kind of figuring out how it works, kind of laughing at some things, but anyway. Yeah, and still to this day, Kevin, nothing beats analog. That's why I tell people, don't use a digital recorder, just go get a freaking old tape recorder that uses cassette tapes. You're not going to get any better results from EVPs compared to that. I mean, there's nothing out there that would even compare to cassette tape.
Yeah, looking back retrospectively, I mean, I've gotten tons and tons of EVPs, but looking back, I think as far as the number of EVPs and the amount of time, I got way more stuff on analog than digital.
Yep. It's always the case. So that's where we were just talking about earlier in the show. We were talking about a phone. I don't know if you saw Sober's video, but it's up on my channel also. We're up on my YouTube channel where we found the toy we were talking about. We found and that was a cameo steak. Yeah.
When we went there, and we saw the shadow person, we were using one of your boxes, and we were getting some crazy stuff.
Oh my God! Yeah, there was a clip when Eric and I went, and I took one of my boxes because I was just testing out the circuit that I'm using now. When I first perfected the circuit, I wanted to take it to a location and start using it. And we were getting some crazy responses, and ended up being, I didn't know that this wing was one of the most haunted wings at Camarillo State Hospital. And that's where I was talking. So I was kind of I was filming. Eric was at a different part of the wing, and I was kind of walking alone. And I was kind of describing on what I was seeing um, on camera, but I was behind the camera, and it looked um, like somebody took like a claw, well, like claws, and like dug down into a door. They kind of probably just wanted to make it look scary. So I'm like, oh, look at these claw marks. This is kind of cool. And then in my voice, as I was saying that, something came through and said, "Fuck you, get out." And I didn't hear that at that time. So during the playback, I showed Eric. I was like, "Oh my god, look!" And this is in my voice. And we played it back, and he was like, "Wait, you said that?" And I was like, "No, I didn't say that. Why would I say that?" But it was in my voice, so that's why he said, "You said that?" I was like, "No, I just wanted to hear what it said because I was like freaked out." And I said, "Okay, you want me to get out? I'm out." And I walked away. Anyway, so anyway, Camarillo State Hospital, that was a mental institute. It was a mental hospital. Um, that has now it's Camarillo or Channel Island State University. So yeah, some of the dorms, they actually use some of the old buildings that were haunted, obviously, and so yeah, some of the students have kind of talked about some of the experiences that they've had there.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if something asks me to leave, I always, even if we're just starting an investigation, right, and we just got there. Now, if I say, is there anybody here that doesn't want us to be here? Let your presence known. And if it says yes, get out, then I'm going to respect them. I was like, all right, we got to pack up. We got to go. And people are like, you got to be kidding me. We're not leaving. And I was like, no, I asked, and I'm going to, respect them, and we're leaving. We're out. And I packed up and I walked out. It's just something that I've always done. So, that's just kind of like a law that I've always abide by. Because because it's like somebody asking you, to leave their home. What you're gonna there if they want you to leave their home and they don't want you there anymore. If you're rude, like a rude guest or something, somebody asks you to leave, you're gonna respect their wishes and leave. You're not gonna say, "No, I'm not leaving your house." So, it's all about respect. Exactly. Bye, Felicia. So there's just a lot of people that just I see in this field that just don't respect. Um, they don't respect spirit. Spirit doesn't want you there. They're going to let you know that you're not welcome. But if they want you there and they want to communicate, they will let you know. It's just like the spirit here that I deal with on a daily basis, almost. I have the respect for them, they have respect for me, and we kind of have that understanding. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Like I said, I'll be giving away a ghost box. Once I hit 1,000 subs on my YouTube channel. Here's my page here. So once I do hit that, I will be doing like a little brief video on how to go about winning it. It'll just be something like, I just want people's names that are that want to participate, and just take a bunch of names, and then I'll just put a number next to their name and draw a number random. I'll do it live during one of my shows, and then we'll go from there. My boxes range, so somebody's asking how much I sell them for. So the box that I'm going to be giving away normally goes for $175. So it's just a nice little piece of equipment. They work really well. Sell a lot of them, and people are amazed by the results that they get. It's funny, every time I send out some of these boxes, and they receive their box, they turn it on, and everybody has always gotten their name, and that's really crazy. More times than not, everybody says, "Oh my God, it just said my name, my full name," or it might even say Rob. Thank Rob or something like that. So somebody said, "Oh, that's Rob's box," and they sent me a clip, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
That's awesome.
But anyway, well, thanks for watching. I know the topic, I mean, we're kind of like all over the place, but we just wanted to have fun. Saturdays are kind of like the same way. Try to get people to participate. Like I was saying earlier, what I'm going to start doing, I think, is if anybody has any experiences that they want to share, or if they need any help, I'll bring them on the show live, kind of like Eric is sitting here with me. I'll bring them on the show. We can maybe see if we can get them some answers. Maybe we can get people, they can explain what might be happening, experiences that they might be experiencing at their home, and try to get them some help and get some answers for them. And then we'll get them off and then bring somebody else on. Kind of do like an interactive show. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Then we'll also do different experiments. We'll do some ghost box sessions, things like that. So it'll be a little, very interactive show and a little bit different. It's going to be something that's very unique and nobody else is doing it. Anyway, well, everybody have a wonderful night, and thank you, Eric, for joining me again, and see you tomorrow for sushi. Eric's going to go out and have some sushi tomorrow, so
looking forward to it. Thank you. I'm going to get something to eat and see if there's any police activity or anything like that going on right now.
All right, well, have fun and be safe.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone.